Hello, Poison Tea Party Society. Janet here. If you've been listening to the Poison Tea Party since the beginning, then you know we have a small stash of unreleased practice episodes we recorded way back forever ago. And we've had a ton of requests to release some of those episodes for you guys to listen to. So we're taking this opportunity this week to release our very first ever recorded episode of the Poison Tea Party. We wanted to warn you, the quality isn't the greatest. And please keep in mind, it was our very first episode. It was our very first time sitting down with microphones as well as writing and editing. But I think it really shows how far we've come in just the short period of time. So without further ado, please enjoy the very first ever recorded episode of the Poison Tea Party podcast. We're your hosts, Janet, Tracy, and Kaylee Jo, or just Kaylee, whatever she'd prefer today.
If you will.
If you will.
Coming at you from a doily-covered dining room table somewhere in Middle America. Let's start the show. Gather round, pull up a comfy chair, grab your grandma's favorite teacup, pour your favorite poison, because this is going to be so much fun. We're really looking forward to invading your personal headspace and bringing you some truly creepy and disturbing history tea.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see what I did there?
Yeah, that was great.
You like
I
that?
appreciate it.
So, guys, we've been going to start this podcast for, like, literally ever.
Yep.
4 years, probably.
10 years.
Yeah.
Easily.
We're very excited to be finally doing this.
Super excited.
We don't really know where we're going to go with this.
Nope.
But sky's
Hopefully
the limit,
you
right?
enjoy.
Yeah. So, what's in your cup? What are you drinking in your teacups tonight?
Well, I've got
Because
a
this
little
is a
bit-
fucking tea party, after all.
I got a
Yeah.
little bit of Snow Creek going on.
Ooh, busted
up
out
in
with the
my
Boone's
teacup.
Farm.
You know,
You know
it's
how
the
it
best.
is.
I feel like a teenager all over again.
It's an oldie but a goodie.
Yes, exactly.
Kaylee, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking some Barefoot pear wine.
I am as well. And
It's-
we should note that Kaylee's newly 21.
Just 21, bitches. Ow.
I feel like we're all girls here.
And if somebody's listening
Wow.
to this that can't relate, then...
Yeah, we are. Hopefully
well,
we're all
girl,
girls.
why'd you look at me like that?
I didn't look at you at
She
all.
said, well...
No, I didn't look at you.
Kaylee's paranoid for no
I am,
reason.
I am.
So, before we really get into, like, the meat and potatoes of today's podcast, we wanted to take a couple minutes to talk about something that means a lot to all of us.
Yes.
And that is puppies.
Puppies!
I
Love puppies.
More specifically, it's puppy and dog adoption. And Trace, you and Johnny, along with a bunch of other, like, real-life heroes in the area, are actually fostering dogs right now for an incredible rescue called Oh My Dog Rescue.
Absolutely.
And where is it located at?
So we're located out of Madrid and Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay. And who runs it?
Kara and Holly. They are amazing women.
I've
Love
heard
them.
I've heard many
Yeah.
things about
They're
them. I
great.
need to meet
They're our
these
kind of
ladies.
people.
And they're saints anyway.
Absolutely.
Like, for what they do.
They've been doing this for a very long time.
So, why did you decide? So, you're a foster.
Yes.
Why did you decide to foster?
Honestly. So our dog Maggie passed away a year ago. And my husband, John, was really wanting to get another dog. And I was really, like, apprehensive. And we just happened across this foster that's based out of our area. And he saw a dog on there that he liked. And they needed a foster for this said dog. So what ended up happening was we went ahead and decided to foster. And that was kind of my way of avoiding getting a third dog into our mix.
For a little while.
5 dogs
We
later.
definitely failed at that, but you know, that's
You
neither
guys
here
are
nor
so
there.
good at it.
Yeah.
So, what if I wanted to foster? Could I foster a dog, or how do
Absolutely.
you do that?
Anybody can foster. You have to fill out the application on the website. It's on the Oh My Dog website. And it's really simple. It's really easy. It takes 2 seconds. It's like a Google Doc like thing that you just send in and they'll get it right away. And they're super responsive. These girls respond to anything that you ask them within. The longest it's ever taken is probably like 2 hours for them to respond to me. They're super responsive. I think when I put in my application to foster, I was contacted within the hour and I had the dog within a day.
But what if I want to adopt? What should, first of all, Because you know how so many people get dogs and then they're like, oh, change my mind, just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
So because adopting a dog is different from getting like a puppy from
Exactly.
a breeder.
Or anything like that.
You're adopting a dog who has a history.
Right.
So what should I think about before I adopt a dog?
You need to think about what you're capable of giving. So a lot of these dogs that we foster specifically through our rescue come from puppy mill situations.
Really sad stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what that means is that they spent a majority of their time in cages. They are not really socialized. They don't have a whole lot of life experiences. So you have to be prepared to give. You got to teach these dogs that there is love out there, that people are not all bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so when you're thinking about adopting a dog, you really have to give it your all. You can't just go into it thinking you're going to have this shiny new puppy and
Right.
everything's just going to be fucking sunshine and roses when it's really not. You're going to have to give a little bit and
have a lot of patience with the dog.
And it is the most rewarding thing ever when you finally start seeing them like come around and peek out and like do things that like a normal quote unquote dog would do. Then that really puts it just makes your heart melt.
Oh, I bet.
It's like the best feeling ever.
my
Like when they
gosh.
finally like sit up on your lap or like, go
Trust you enough to take
Yeah.
a treat from you
ask you for affection or, even something as simple as I'm just following you around the house. It really puts it into perspective for you that it's like, oh, this dog is finally trusting me. And it's just like, it's amazing. I love it.
And you're like, I'm doing the right thing here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The prices to adopt from this rescue they seem a little high.
Yes.
Why is that?
The reason is because we are a small rescue. We have only been up and operational for just over a year. It was a year in January. So this is all, when you're paying the money for the dog, you're not just helping that specific dog, you're helping all the dogs within the rescue. So we've had plenty of instances where some dogs needed some things done. I personally had a dog that I was fostering that had a disease called pyometra. It's a life or death disease. Like she had to be rushed to the hospital like right now or she could have died. And so when you're paying these adoption fees, you're not just taking care of that dog, but you're taking care of the rescue as a whole. But also on top of that is when, you're paying these fees, the dogs come spayed or neutered.
Oh, wow. Okay, good.
Yep, they come microchipped.
That's a big cost anyway.
It is.
So.
Every dog is microchipped. Every dog is fully vetted. So they have everything that they're going to need to just slide right into your home and just be a part of your family.
Okay, so donating. I'm not ready to adopt or foster. I have 3 of my own.
Yep.
I mean, I'm ready, but I don't think my husband's ready. So if I wanted to donate, could I donate? And does it have to be money? Can I donate supplies or food or?
Absolutely. We have, if you go to the website, there's a donate tab, which obviously we like money. Money's good. Money makes the world go round, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
But we also have Amazon wish lists. And on top of that, like any one of us would take just any sort of donation, dog food. We always need like puppy pads for the puppies that aren't quite potty trained yet. We've got, there's a need for air tags for our high flight risk dogs. We've just got basically anything that you could use for your dog, we will take.
Right. And if you already have dogs, then you already know what that is.
Exactly.
And that would be just as easy as like emailing the founders and, setting that up with them and then just being like, hey, I want to donate, but what do I need to do or how do I do it? Right. And they're, like I said, they're very responsive and they're very grateful for everything.
I don't foster. You've been fostering, and just what I've seen, it's so amazing. It's such a great rescue.
And they make it so easy. Like, I was really nervous about it. Our first dog specifically because, he was a little bit of a harder case than what most fosters are. But honestly, it's been the best thing ever, and we love it. We just adore it.
If you want to check out available adoptable pets, you can go to ohmydogrescue.org or visit the rescue on Facebook, Instagram, or they also have a TikTok.
Deep breath.
Everybody take a deep breath. We're ready to start this fucking show. Gather around, kitties. Have I got an incredible, curious story to share with you. This true story really gets under my skin. It's an oldie but a goodie. It's an unbelievable story. It's the story of Mary Mallon. Now, hold up. I don't know if you know who she is, but I'm not going to say right off the top.
Yeah, no.
Mary Mallon.
Right off the tippy.
Right off the tippy top.
Give me a minute.
But first, let me set the scene. Now, I wrote this, so don't judge my reading skills. It's the year 1900 in New York City. The average family income was $3,000 a year.
How nice.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's amazing.
Wouldn't that be, I mean,
I wish.
I don't know if that sounds amazing, but...
$3,000 like a month for rent now, but...
For real.
Continue.
No.
I was going to say that's less than I make in a month.
Yeah.
So it's like...
God.
That's
I mean, maybe
insane.
bread was like 5 cents. I don't know.
It
I didn't
was
do
less
that
than
research. I wish I had that information, but I don't. Most people lived in what was referred to as cold water flats and shared a common toilet with countless neighbors and often had to travel to bathe in public bath facilities. Phones were a community shared utility, and a horse and wagon was the most common way to travel through the city. Young children attended school, but by the time they were teenagers, most would opt for paid work in factories, selling newspapers, or even distribution of alcohol throughout the boroughs. New York City was a place that did not provide over 66% of its population with proper housing, safety, or hygienic conditions, which, ew.
Yep.
Just ew. It was dirty. It was overcrowded. And in many cases, it was a place much worse than the place the immigrants had left from other countries. At this time in American history, the life expectancy of the average adult was 47 years.
Oh, damn.
The city was just coming off of devastating epidemics in previous years from diseases like cholera, yellow fever, and smallpox, when the mortality rate was 60 deaths per every 1,000 residents. People were definitely spooked, and this only brought on more division between the upper and lower classes. But immigrants continued to pour in. Employment was on the rise, and the promise of a fresh start was just on the horizon for anyone who wanted to put in the work. New York City was a worldly, bustling city full of big dreams and new opportunities, so it's easy to see how some dangers could be forgotten or just brushed to the side. Yes, girl.
Yes, girl.
Mary Mallon was born September 23rd, 1869 in Cookstown, Ireland, and she emigrated to the United States in 1884. She started work as a maid and went to cooking for higher pay in the year 1900. Before she could settle in, though, a guest fell sick at that job from typhoid.
Oh, no.
So what if you were hanging out, working as a cook? I don't know.
I would be
This
livid.
bitch over here starts getting fevers.
For real.
What do?
I mean,
You're terrified, right?
Yeah.
'Cause
I'd be like, I didn't sign up for this. I ain't no nurse.
I'm going to tell you about what healthcare was like.
Terrible.
It was so
now.
terrible, dude. Okay, so in 1900, over 35,000 people died from typhoid fever.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And thousands
God.
more than that fell ill. So, I mean, because
Probably from other stuff.
that's just from typhoid.
Yeah.
It was among the top feared diseases of the time with symptoms like, okay, girls, gather around.
Gather round.
High fevers reaching 104 degrees, fatigue, nausea, headache, body aches, rash, loss of appetite. This is the word I can't say. Abdominal
pain.
Abdominal pain.
Boom.
Mic drop.
Constipation and diarrhea and
Death.
death.
Oh my god. It's
What
like
a
all of the
symptom.
symptoms I have all the time.
Like,
Like, wow.
We're all
How relatable.
dying.
So
all
death
the
is right around the corner for me, guys.
It was known at that time, that typhoid was the result of consuming contaminated food or water or from poor hygiene. So naturally, it was a disease that was primarily believed to be circulated by the poor.
Yeah, because of New York.
So, yeah, because of New York being so
because
nasty.
of the fact that they were all probably living right on top of each other
Yeah,
and
there
that
wasn't
nobody was
anything-
helping them.
Like, you
or-
shared toilets, you
Right.
shared bathing facilities, you
Like-
shared... So Mary stayed with the affected family for 3 weeks after the first case of typhoid happened.
Oh,
And then in 1901, she was like, you know what? This really ain't
I'm
for
done
me.
for this. I'm done.
And then she moved to a new family in Manhattan and started to cook for them. And Manhattan at that time, I'm assuming, was relatively affluent, right?
Yeah,
Like it is
like-
today.
Yeah, I
They
would
probably
assume.
were. It's probably a really nice jump from where she was.
So a few weeks into that, one of the housekeepers develops fevers. And Mary was like, girl, nah.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Seen this before. I don't like this show.
No, we don't like this show.
So she picks up, runs away, whisked away.
Of course.
Runs away.
Coleman Drayton
That bitch
in
bailed.
Dark Harbor, Maine. Now, this is not, it's like a hop, skip, and a jump,
Yeah.
like right up from where she just was, but, you know, in the area.
Yeah.
After 2 weeks of being in this new place
Again.
in Maine, 11 people fall sick.
Excuse
So
me.
when 11 people fell sick at this house, Mary was like, I feel really like I should get up and run, but also there are 11 fucking people shitting their brains out, puking, fevers. I'm going to stay and help. And that family was incredibly grateful that she did do that. In the early 20th century, healthcare was virtually unregulated. Doctors visited and treated patients mainly in their own home, and hospitals were set up as enormous open room wards. And I know you've seen movies
Yep.
where people go in
Terrifying.
to visit, you know, and they're all together. I don't know. It looks
It's
like
just spread it.
it looks like hell.
Just spread it.
Health insurance was basically non-existent, and hygiene was poor by today's standards.
Yeah.
Sickness was rampant. Cures in the form of medicines and vaccines were extremely limited. And Mary must have considered herself unlucky, right, to have found so much sickness around her. But it wasn't.
No, she probably thought she was lucky as hell.
Well, yeah, that she wasn't.
Meanwhile,
she
this
hadn't
girl was
gotten
just
it.
getting around.
I'd be
Getting
terrified.
around.
I would have been like, I'm cursed. It's following me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
follow me.
same.
I'm next. I'm next.
I would have like secluded myself.
In 1849, just 53 years earlier, at the height of immigration from the Irish potato famine, which is another cool thing you should look
Yeah,
at.
that's a cool thing.
Over 5,000 people died of cholera in New York City alone. If scaled up to this was the thing that this is crazy. If scaled up to today's population count, that would be equivalent to 95,000 deaths.
Wow.
Well, it doesn't really surprise me, though, because, again, they were all, like, right on top of each other. Because, you know, you think they're coming to America in the thousands, you know, and they're coming right to the coast. Well, where are they going?
And they're all
Exactly.
just right
And
there.
not only
Right
that,
into
but
New York is where...
those trips where they're coming across to America, that is hell in itself.
Yeah,
Those stories are crazy.
for real.
Like, those people, half of them didn't eat. They definitely didn't bathe or do nothing like that
yeah,
for
their food's all
for
rotten.
months or
and
how
they have
yeah.
nowhere
everyone's
to
shitting
go.
on each other.
Right.
If you're sick on the boat,
And they
everybody's
got,
sick.
They got nowhere to go.
I don't
They
want to be
got
sick on a boat.
probably no
You're
money
throwing up-
because
you're
they
sitting
probably
in-
spent it all.
Exactly. You're sitting in shit and puke and whatever else.
Ooh,
Nasty.
you can't bathe, right? You
No,
can't bathe.
you can't do nothing.
No, unless
You're
you wanna
stuck
jump
in
the
that.
ocean.
And on those boats, they had so many people.
Yep. Hey,
Pop a squat over the edge.
They probably poked a little hole.
I'm sure
in the
they
boat.
did. I'm sure they did.
They probably did.
Oh my god.
Ugh.
Okay, so in 1904, Mary went to work for Henry Gilsey in Long Island. And at that place, 4 of the 7 servants in the servant house contracted typhoid.
Oh my god.
Mary didn't get sick that time either. And she ran like hell
As she
as soon
should.
as
Fucking A.
they started coming down with it. She was like, oh my god, okay.
She's like, I'm over this business.
I'm fucking out of here. So she went to work at Tuxedo Park for George Kessler. 2 weeks later, after she gets there, a laundry worker was taken to St. Joseph's Regional Medical Center, and they were determined by Dr. R.L. Wilson to have typhoid.
Shocker.
But my sources that I look for say it was never proven. They died before.
They just died.
They actually died. So that person.
That was their symptom.
Yeah.
Death.
That was their symptom.
Immediate death.
And then in 1906, Mary found new employment. And you know what? Can we just take a second to
my-
appreciate...
many jobs does she go
Girl,
on?
she is really a
She
woman
is
after
like
my heart.
Kaylee right over...
I have been working in every damn place you can think of. And you know what? A lot of experience comes from that.
Kaylee seeks employment.
I'm probably just out here infecting everyone. Nobody knows. I'll be like, coming Mary.
Oh my god, girl.
I want to put my name as Mary on my applications from now on.
So funny.
Goodness.
So she found another fucking job.
Hey.
This time with Charles Henry Warren and his rented summer home in the affluent Oyster Bay on the coast of Long Island.
Oh, shit. She's really coming up.
It sounds amazing.
But you know what? I bet you some shit's about to
Yeah.
go down.
I bet
How
you,
did you know?
bet you a lot of people are about to die.
I didn't.
Are you like, there's like a track record here.
Yeah.
So from August 27th to September 3rd, 6 of the 11 family members contracted typhoid. And doctors were suspicious.
Bro, this is like 5 fucking days.
Girl,
It's like,
see this shit?
Haley just took
Don't fuck with me. I take the whole thing off.
she took the whole lid off of the
Listen.
wine
I was like,
bottle.
why is it twisting so hard?
And I said lid, but it's hard to describe. Like the whole
You
neck,
don't want to wine
Yeah.
when it's like a twisty.
The whole wrapping around.
the whole
Yeah.
wrapping and the lid.
Yeah, the whole thing.
She was like not fucking
But
around.
anyways.
sorry.
Anywho.
So this is like what, 5 fucking days? August 27th to September 3rd,
Mhm.
6 of 11?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So what is going on here?
For real, Mary.
So the doctors
Mary?
are like, something's up. Because first of all, Oyster Bay in Long Island is the rich people.
It's bougie, girl.
Yeah, those people have access to bathing and have access to personal toilets and have access to,
just hygiene in general.
yeah.
And they're probably not like stacked on top of each
Yeah,
other.
they have
and-
nice big houses and room to
and
know
move
how-
around.
home doctors and they
Exactly.
have
You know how differently this story would have played out in today's world? Like,
Well,
Mary
I
would have
wonder.
been, she would have been doing her thing, going off, and somebody would have gotten on TikTok and been like, this bitch Mary has a lot to say about me. But let me tell y'all something. She's killed 6 of us. And I'm on my
Including me.
deathbed. Like, the TikTok comments would be
and I'm coming
raving.
right for her ass.
I have no idea what the TikTok comments would say because I don't fucking have
No,
TikTok.
they'd be like, who the fuck is Mary?
and I'm
Where
fine
did we
with
find
that.
Mary?
Murray?
Murray.
Where you been?
All the
You are
kids on
not the
TikTok.
father.
Okay.
I'm not a child. I'm an old lady.
I know. Oh, thanks.
Okay, all those little Facebook reels you watch are just like TikTok.
I also
And
know
I
that.
and I be getting down on those
I know.
Facebook reels.
It's funny because she's my older sister.
And I'm the niece.
Listen, I'm young at heart forever. Okay, so at that Oyster Bay house, the summer house, they rented that from a guy named George Thomas. And he, knowing, okay, I've got this fucking badass house in Oyster motherfucking Bay, and all these people inside of it are catching typhoid.
Mhm.
If I don't figure out the cause, once this family goes, who's going to want to rent this place?
Right.
They think they're going to
He's
get
got
typhoid.
money that needs to be made.
So guess what? He's going to call in sanitary engineer
Oh shit.
George Soper to investigate the typhoid outbreak. Now, George Soper, he's a bit of a stickler, if you will.
Oh god.
Is he gonna get the typhoid?
No, I don't think so.
Damn
Damn.
I mean,
No.
that would
I
have
don't
really
think so.
messed this story up.
he's going to come in. Now, he's been following the typhoid outbreaks as they've been happening throughout the city.
He's just watching Mary.
He's
slap
just like
around.
one fucking step behind.
He's on Mary's ass.
Yeah, and he's
He
like,
knows.
what the hell? I've got the description of this lady. Think about it. Back in those days, you don't have a phone. You don't have a way to really
Well, no, if you were
communicate.
gonna,
There
if
is no fucking TikTok.
There is no fucking
TikTok. No, if you were gonna do something crazy, the 1900s, that's
That
when
was
you
the
should
time
have
to
done
do
it.
it, right?
In the 1800s, especially, and also like people just didn't believe stuff like that either back then. Like they wouldn't believe that so and so's going around killing
The
people.
sweet little ladies
Yeah,
going around
they
and
wouldn't believe
murdering
that shit.
people by cooking for them.
No,
They'd be like, she's doing the Lord's work.
justice for Mary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Leave her
exactly.
alone.
No.
Murray?
Murray.
But no. So he's been following these outbreaks around the city and the surrounding areas. And Mary fit the description of the cook that was given by the families. They said she was a female, red-headed Irish cook.
Oh, queen.
Wow, they really came for her.
Queen.
Soper.
Well, I mean, most Irish ladies are redheaded, but that's neither here nor
Doesn't
there.
it sound
I'm
mean,
not
though?
redheaded.
No.
She was a female, red-headed Irish
yeah.
cook.
Well, if that dick said it, then of course it
I
was.
mean,
Yeah,
for real.
exactly. He's probably saying something crazy about her red hair. Probably
Leave
relating
her
it
red
to
hair alone.
exactly.
red hair out of this.
That's right. I love red hair.
Although he probably had to identify her somehow, so maybe he's like, "Oh, she's
So George Soper finally tracked Mary down in 1907.
Jesus.
goddamn time."
Yeah, no, I mean, for real.
George, you suck at your job.
George Soper
you hear
determined that Mary had passed on the bacteria when she prepared one of her specialty dishes for the family. Are you guys ready to know what passed the typhoid on to all these fucking people?
Yeah, I
Yep.
want to know.
Fresh peach ice cream and poor hand washing.
Oh hell no,
Sick.
man, that's disgusting as hell.
Would you like a? That's true.
I want to know.
What was she doing? Just not washing her
Tracy's
hands
face
after
is
she
saying
shit?
it all. Yeah, that is really. And then she was like, "Let me cut
Hello.
these peaches up."
E. coli 2.0.
Hello, typhoid.
Typhoid
7.0.
7.0.
I mean, I guess I don't know much about typhoid specifically, but like a lot of, if it's ice cream, then it's like frozen, right? But I guess it's probably not like frozen to like our standards of frozen because I don't. Did
Well,
they have
also-
freezers at that time, or
We
were
have
they
so
just
many questions.
right?
Think about like that. Okay, you're scooping your ice cream out, right? How many of you are just able to just like perfectly do that and put it in a bowl without like kind of touching it a little bit to get the, you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
you gotta
I think
scoop
what
it.
they're meaning here though is she cut
because she prepared
the
it.
peaches up.
Yeah.
She prepared
She
it.
prepared it.
She was like,
So, like, because they're not just going to, like, go
No,
to the
like-
grocery store and buy, like, a thing of ice cream. Like, this
Exactly.
is something that she's making, but,
She's
like,
touching all over.
because, like, if I put something in the freezer, most of the bacteria and stuff is going to be killed off, I would
Frozen.
think, because it's frozen. Not all. Some diseases are, not heat or are heat and cold resistant, but not all of them. I guess
It was those damn peaches, yo.
I think of it like, okay, so like when the permafrost is melting and all these weird bacterias are coming out and they're
yeah.
alive. They're
Yeah.
fucking alive.
Yeah.
That's probably what typhoid
And
is.
also, what kind of ingredients was she using? Was this like
peaches
milk?
and ice cream.
But like if she was making her own ice cream,
Oh yeah, I don't know.
what kind of ingredients
Well,
was
that's
she
what I
putting
mean, is that
into
it probably didn't get even cold enough for it to, like, kill
Exactly.
anything. So she's probably, like, scratching her ass cheeks and,
Yeah, I
like,
was just
fucking
gonna
chopping up
say,
them
or
fucking
licking
peaches.
her
God.
fingers and cutting
Yeah,
up the
and, like,
peaches.
scratching
Tasting
her
it.
hair and, like, cutting up
Oh,
the fucking...
yuck. Are you guys
know,
really
and she
hungry now?
obviously didn't
No.
really have that much access to fucking, hygienic whatever. I
No.
mean, yeah, she was in the... Where was she at this time?
Oyster Bay. And this
Which-
is an affluent area, so I would figure that they would have that. Even the servants.
But even their servants... Yeah, I mean, they would, but they're not going to have as much access to it.
surely
as
they would encourage it.
I would hope, but
all I have to
You know,
say is that
they're down here
Mary,
and then they're
That's
up here.
true,
Yeah.
Mary really I put my blood, sweat, and tears
And her poop.
in her shit, and her
Listen.
saliva. She put
And
all of it.
I'm just thinking Fremunda cheese. That's all that I can think of.
Yeah.
That bitch put all
Oh
that
my
shit
God.
in that ice
She-
cream. It was
Mary
heart
was
and
getting
soul.
wild.
Don't do it.
wilding
Oh,
out.
God.
When George Soper, he went to confront Mary and he asked for samples from her right away. Now, in this time, so he's asking for urine, poop, how do we say it? Stool. That's the proper
Shit.
way to say it.
BM, bowel movement. I know nothing.
And blood samples. And in that time, you didn't ask a lady
No.
for things like that.
Like, what the
I'll ask a
hell?
lady right now
We'll ask a motherfucking lady right now.
Next time my doctor
if I
asks
ever
me,
meet one.
And she became like highly offended that he asked her that.
Uh-oh.
This is his quote.
she's like,
George Soper, quote, I had my first talk with Mary in the kitchen of this house. I was as diplomatic as possible, but I had to say I suspected her of making people sick and that I wanted specimens of urine, feces, and blood. It did not take Mary long to react to this suggestion. She seized a carving fork and advanced in my direction. I passed
What a
rapidly down the
crazy bitch.
long, narrow hall.
Mary is my kind of girl.
Through the
She's
tall
wildin'.
iron gate and so to the sidewalk. I felt rather lucky to escape.
Okay, so here's
Wildin'.
the thing, though.
Bitch
Like-
be crazy.
She was like, how dare you
How
do not
did-
ever ask me
for
for my
real.
shit in a bag again.
But how did
You
how
fucking
did George approach her? Like, if some man
You
walked
just
up to
said,
me and
"Bitch,
was
you
like,
fuck-"
I need some blood, I need some urine, and I need some shit right now. I
Imagine
would
if
be
a cop
like,
came in here and said, Kaylee, I'm gonna need some fucking...
I'd fucking full of
I
knife
mean,
too. I'd be like, what the hell you talking
I don't know.
about?
This is the
I'd be like, you
1900s
nasty
we're talking
motherfucker.
about, so he probably didn't give her much of an option. He
Ex-
probably wasn't very
Yeah.
fucking nice
No,
about it.
exactly.
And she was Irish, and remember how they treated
Absolutely.
immigrants.
They were
Exactly.
not treated very kindly.
So Mary has the advantage because the upper hand in this situation for me, anyways, because it's like,
And
yeah,
she does, because
that's-
she...
that's wild. You can't just go in there. And also,
and
at
just
this point,
demand my shit.
yeah, for real. Like, what the hell?
No, to be fair, we don't know if you wanted it in a bag or...
Well,
I mean-
obviously, no.
Obviously, I mean, does he want it just...
I
He
would have been
probably
like,
wanted
I'll
one of
dump in
her-
your hand for free.
He's probably like, why don't you use some of those pans you've been cooking
Right?
with?
If you let me shit in your hand, then you can have it.
Absolutely.
That's fucked up.
But fine.
All right, so at that time, George Soper gets away with his life, right? And
Mhm.
Mary remains there.
I'm just built for different. Everything I taste, it's
Bitch,
like, wow,
shut
that
the-
shit's good
I
as hell.
piss excellent.
Oh my god.
I piss excellent.
So Mary,
You're right. Back to
she
Mary.
runs. She, like, stayed there, but then he runs away with his life, and then she's like, oh, shit, I better get the fuck out of here.
Well, George was probably thinking, hell.
He's coming back for me, is really what she's thinking.
She's thinking that,
Right.
but George is thinking, my life.
So she goes.
Yeah.
And then on another occasion, there's a lady, her name is Dr. Josephine Baker of the New York City Health Department, and she is tasked with the arrest of Mary Mallon.
Dun, dun,
Not something I'd want to be doing.
They do eventually find out where Mary is hiding, and they go, okay, this is the thing. They find out where she's living. So they go there. They wait outside for 3 hours. They're knocking on the doors. They're looking in windows. They're like, where the hell is she? She's refusing to come out. So eventually, after 3 hours, they gotta
bust
tired of her shit, and they bust the door down. They go up in this place, they look everywhere, and she's nowhere to be found. So they go out, they're looking in the backyard, and then they happen to see a piece of her dress sticking out from a shed in the neighbor's yard.
You could have had that shit.
That's like hiding in the
It's like you
bathtub.
almost got away.
Well, and yeah, but like...
But your dress was too big, girl.
Right.
Girl.
Maybe you don't need that cook money after all. So...
Oh, fucking Mary.
This is the thing. So they do apprehend her, and she puts up a huge fucking fight. She's like, no.
As she should.
She knew she was fucking people up.
And I'll tell you, this is a quote from Dr. Josephine Baker, the lady that was the head of the arrest.
Her. Yeah.
She came out fighting and swearing, both of which she could do with appalling efficiency and vigor. I made another effort to talk to her sensibly and ask her again to let me have the specimens, but it was no use. By the time she was convinced that the law was wantonly persecuting her when she had done nothing wrong, she knew she had not had typhoid, and she was maniacally in her integrity. There was nothing I could do but to take her with us. The policeman lifted her into the ambulance, and I literally sat on her all the way to the hospital, and it was like being in with a caged lion.
Okay, but knowing what we know right now, because I don't know the rest of it, but like, you know, go fuck yourself, Mr. Police.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'd be mad too.
I'd be fucking pissed.
Are you gonna be swinging though and swearing and
No,
fighting and
but,
some bitch gotta sit on you the whole way?
And on the same foot, I can understand the policeman's or this guy's side of it. George, is this George we're talking about?
Yeah. No, we're talking about Josephine.
Josephine Baker.
Oh, yes,
the
Josephine.
lady. Yeah, that sat on her.
And I can understand her side of it.
But
It's
I wonder if
definitely-
like it was explained to her.
I was going to say,
Exactly.
properly, if it was
No.
brought to her in a gentle manner.
Definitely not.
That
She was
this
a
may
woman
be
and
a
she was an
thing.
immigrant.
Well, right. And this
Yeah.
may be a thing. We're not sure. But, like, if you could help us out. No. Because they're like, oh, I explained it to her in a gentle manner. No, the fuck you didn't.
Yeah.
No,
There's
you
no
didn't.
fucking way.
No.
And
Banging
all
on
she
her
knows
door.
is that she's an Irish immigrant and we don't...
And you're
Mhm.
telling me I have typhoid and I've never had a fever and I don't.
Or that I'm
I'm
spreading
not
it.
sick.
Mhm.
Well, she's
So I don't.
scared.
Right.
I'd be scared
Yeah.
too.
She's
And
absolutely
for all
scared.
we know, she's all alone, right? Like, she has nobody.
Yeah.
She's
Exactly.
by herself. So, yeah, I mean, I get her side of it, but I get their side of it. But gently, my asshole.
For real.
That's not a thing that happened.
When they did finally arrest her and they took her to a place called North Brother Island and quarantined her, samples were forcibly taken from Mary, and I don't know what that means exactly.
You know what that means.
I mean, I know what it means, but I couldn't
That's fucked
find
up.
exactly
Yeah.
what that meant. And she was determined to be positive for Salmonella typhi bacteria, which is typhoid. And she was the first person ever identified as an asymptomatic carrier of typhoid.
Which makes her a great candidate for all sorts of things.
Right.
So what the hell are they gonna do? They're just gonna
Now
kill
they're
her or
going to
some
lock
shit?
her up and keep her forever
Yeah.
and ever.
She's basically a lab rat now, right?
Exactly.
Bullshit.
That's fucked up.
Blood, urine, and stool were continued to be taken from her and tested 3 times a week. But she was kept in isolation. However, it was like a private bungalow, so it wasn't like a jail cell. But still, she was being kept there against
Because
her
she was
will.
being
Against her
held
will.
captive. So
Yeah,
they were
exactly.
like, we'll throw you a bone and we'll give you a bungalow.
Right. Yeah.
But we're going to do tests.
Please don't
on
be
you.
too pissed at us.
All right.
But they did give her, and this warms my heart a little. They gave her a rat terrier puppy to keep her
Yeah,
company.
because they knew they were fucking her over.
This is like really mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
We're
Like,
imprisoning
the
you.
woman-
You're the dog.
Have a companion that you can't infect, though.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, whatever. I guess I don't know. I'm assuming
That's what I was
that
gonna say.
it's not,
Give-
like, cross species, but, you
But
know.
who doesn't want to have a little doggy when
I
they're
mean,
feeling
okay,
down? And
fair.
I understand that, but if you're
But
so
you're
worried,
keeping me held captive so that
Yes.
I can be your lab rat and your guinea pig.
It's pretty
and I would be
bullshit.
pissed if you're so worried about me having this fever or typhoid that's killing everyone. Why would you give me a fucking animal?
Well, I mean, I don't know if they...
They didn't know. They
What?
didn't know at the time.
Because animals aren't as
They're like, if it dies,
If it dies, it dies. Yeah, at this time in history, there aren't people like Trask and Oh My Dog Rescue out here fighting for dogs at that time. Dogs are fighting for their own lives.
Definitely not, yeah.
So Mary eventually said, this is her quote, "I never had typhoid in my life. I've always been healthy. Why should I be banished like a leper and compelled to live in solitary confinement with only a dog as a companion?" Yeah. She's pretty pissed off, you can tell in that.
She needed someone to, like, explain to her what this fever does.
Well, it's like the repercussions of her not being, you know, whatever. But at the end of the day, she needs to be able to make that decision for herself instead of them just
deciding to do it for her.
It gets a little worse before it gets better.
Of course.
They approach Mary because in this time they decide, and I don't know how this is decided, but if they take her gallbladder out, that she will no longer be infectious to people around her. And that was explained to her. Of which Mary was like, hell fucking no. You're not touching me.
In that day and age.
Right.
No. Surgery was no small feat.
You don't survive.
It wasn't.
Exactly. And also that
was
shit, like,
routine.
Up until that point, they don't explain anything to her, and then all of a sudden they're like, and we're going to do surgery. Yeah. Okay, are you just taking out my gallbladder, or are you going to give me a lobotomy too? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
What really is, and why would she trust them, right?
Exactly.
At this point, yeah.
They fucked her over.
She didn't believe she had typhoid, so why would she even ever agree to that? Even if it meant she could get out of her bungalow. Right. Like, she would be getting out,
but she may not survive.
See the big man upstairs, you know what I'm talking about?
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mary did attempt to sue the health department, but the complaint was denied.
Of course it
was.
And
I think that's interesting, too.
Of course.
Mary did manage, with the help of an outside friend, to send her own samples off to an independent lab.
Oh.
Good.
And the results came back negative for typhoid.
Shit.
So that's like a little,
right.
I don't know. And that was that. Of course, the people on North Brother Island didn't take that into account at all. That didn't matter to them. No. And then it should also be noted, and this is also interesting too, the people on North Brother Island, as I said, they were doing samples sometimes 3 times a week. And about a quarter of the time, those samples came back negative too. So she wasn't always constantly testing positive. So that's interesting. I don't know how typhoid works in the body, but
I'm just really hung up on the whole gallbladder thing. Like, that's the first thing you want to take out of her? What the fuck?
I don't even know if that's like would have been effective.
No, they just were like, what's one organ we can take out of this bitch?
No, because in this time you have to remember that they're very much into experimental medicine because everybody's a scientist
and Mary's onto them,
and everybody wants to know. They want to whatever, but no, it rarely ended well.
No, it didn't. Death.
Let us not.
Death.
In 1909, Mary signed a document that said, and it's a legal document, saying that she would no longer seek employment as a cook, and she was released nearly 3 years after she was first imprisoned.
That's fucked up.
So Mary was given employment when she did leave North Brother Island as a laundry worker at the rate of $20 a month. That's not great.
No.
Because remember what we said, it was $3,000 a year. Mm-hmm. That's not $3,000 a year.
No.
She did go to work as a laundry worker, and then she hurt her arm. She had an arm injury where she was unable to work for 6 months. What she did in that time, when she made $20 a month previously, I have no idea, because you know she didn't have nothing saved up.
No.
And I don't know there's not a lot of information.
A lady of the evening, perhaps.
Perhaps. Oh my God. I mean, pass typhoid,
else?
Like S&B
how
or
else
what?
Would she make any money in that day, or that time?
Ew.
You know? I mean,
a lot of women had to turn to that shit.
It is purely speculation. And so she quickly fell into debt, obviously.
Yeah.
So Mary decided to return to work as a cook.
Oh, she done fucked up. She done fucked all the way up.
Right now.
What the hell is her problem?
I know. But listen, guys, she made $50 a month as a cook.
And now she's making $20. And then she went to
and now she's making $50 again.
Now she's making $50
because she went back as
returned.
No, I'm saying that, but she went from nothing to 20 to nothing to 50 again.
Yeah, so that feels good, right?
Over double her income, yeah.
A lot of people think that she returned back to work as a cook to sort of like seek revenge for what she believed was unlawful imprisonment. And she was really pissed off.
Go off, girl.
Right?
But also, like, come on now. It seems like Mary, this woman of many jobs, but it seems like she really loved cooking. So,
or it's
although
just it's probably just what she knew, what she was good at.
She was good at it.
Yeah.
She was good at spreading shit.
Literally.
She probably was about to be like, George, have a piece of my peach and ice cream pie. Hope you enjoy it.
My peach pie.
My peach pie.
My butt pie. Listen, we all know what peach is in emoji talk.
Yeah, for real.
That's why.
That's fucked up.
Scratching your ass. Touching them peaches.
God, I can't take y'all anywhere.
We're at your house.
Okay, so Mary, not being a stupid woman, right? Because she's like, okay, I'm going back to work as a cook because I can't fucking make it work for $20 a month, but I can make $50 a month work. And I'll be able to pay my debt off. And I'm just going to get on with my life. But however, I know that if I continue as Mary Mallon, they're going to fucking find me.
Yeah.
So what I need to do...
What I was going to say, did she change her name?
She needs to change her name. And what better name to choose than something that's going to blend right into the scenery? Mary Brown.
Why the fuck would she keep her first name Mary?
You know how many Marys there were?
There are a lot of Marys,
but especially
up, like,
in that time. And the thing about changing your name that's really important, if you're going to change your name, it has to sound a lot like your original name.
That's
so
true.
that when somebody yells it, it's an automatic response. But you have no idea how many fucking Marys
There's
there
a
were.
ton of
There's
Marys.
a ton now, and there was way more then.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a very prevalent name.
Oh, man, that's just...
And Mary Brown, okay.
Yeah, there's probably
also,
7,000 Mary fucking
If
Browns.
that's even your real name.
I know, right?
How the hell does she do this? Because at this time, if these people are really, like, watching her to make sure she doesn't start cooking again, how would they not figure out that Mary... What's her full name? Mary Mallon?
Well, first
Mary
of all, we
Mallon.
haven't heard the end of this.
Oh, shit, okay.
So we
Continue.
don't know
Sorry.
what the outcome is.
No, but how the hell wouldn't they have... Okay, continue.
Okay,
They may.
so this is what. So when they do release her as a laundry worker, they do lose contact with her.
Oh,
They
okay.
keep up with her for about 6 months.
They're like, oh, she's fine.
and then she loses
Probably
contact.
because she became a lady of the evening.
I know,
Yeah.
and then she was somewhat evasive,
She was no longer a lady.
if you will.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Okay, over the next 5 years, Mary Brown now
Yes.
worked in kitchens, restaurants, and institutions across New York.
5 years.
5 years over the
How
course
many
of
people
that.
died?
Well, almost everywhere that Mary went,
The lamb
typhoid was sure to go. That's fucked up, but
it's true though.
in 1915, Mary started work at this kind of infuriates me, okay? She
Oh.
goes to work at Sloan Maternity Hospital for Women
What the fuck
Fuck
is wrong
Mary.
with her?
in Manhattan.
Mary.
Back to Manhattan, back to where she's
Those babies don't
started.
deserve that, and neither do those mommies.
Yeah, babies, mamas. Well, I mean, I think at this point, babies aren't eating peach ice cream, but the mamas certainly are.
Well,
Right.
even just having her around, if she's this much of an infection, babies will pick up. Babies
But
are
remember,
not.
she doesn't think she's an infection, and
No.
we're not sure if this is
I
properly.
don't give a hell. No more justice for Mary.
I know.
Fuck Mary.
I know.
Didn't they had formula at the time? Was she involved in
Well,
preparing that?
So, okay,
Did they?
is
I don't know. I
typhoid-
think so. I think. Let me.
Yeah. Google
Let me
that.
Google
Okay,
that.
while you're asking that, is typhoid contagious just by sitting next to each other? Like, is it?
No, it's
Okay.
contaminated food and water
Mm-hmm.
and poor hygiene.
1865.
Oh, really?
Oh,
1865 formula was a
Mhm.
thing. Okay, so yeah, we're well into that. They did have
It came
that.
first in liquid form and then in powdered form.
But I wonder how much put into use that really was.
You know
Because
what?
do you remember, like, diapers?
Yes.
Yeah.
They didn't even come around
And
until the
there's a
80s.
whole,
Yeah.
there's a whole, like, whatever, because I did watch a documentary on it one time. So, like, when formula first came out, it was not widely accepted.
Yeah,
But it took a little while, but then it became the only accepted because, you know,
right. And then now we're
because it wasn't
back to half and half.
proper.
And
you
that just
know.
makes me so pissed off because you know how many. I just feel so bad for women, obviously, throughout history. But, like, could you imagine being a mom during that time and, like, there are so many complications.
No, I cannot.
No. But there are so many complications just with birth. The fucking birth, what's the hell is it called? Mortality rate?
Yeah.
And birthing and mothers and all that shit.
I mean,
Super
it was
high.
so high. Yeah.
And not only that, but you gotta think of this, like, just think of this now. There's so many moms that can't breastfeed because their baby doesn't latch right, or millions of reasons that they can't. Those women were meant to feel like pieces of shit if their baby wasn't fucking milking from their booby.
Yeah,
So
I know. It's infuriating that she was like, all these places, I've had all these jobs and there's all these places to work. I'm going to go work with the pregnant
with the
ladies.
babies. With
and
the pregnant
babies.
babies. Like,
The pregnant babies.
the pregnant shit. Fuck. I'm on like my second bottle of wine, y'all. We ain't here to judge. We know what we talking about.
Okay, so in 3 months.
Pause. Actually, half of those babies were probably fucking pregnant because they were all pregnant at like 12 years old back in
Oh
the
my
day.
God,
Bro,
for real.
sorry.
Girl.
I'm getting heated.
But it's maternity. We're talking babies.
I know.
They're not pregnant.
I know. I'm just saying,
You
like,
say better not be.
Pregnant mamas on the maternity ward, right? That's what we're talking about.
In the 3 months that she worked at the Sloan Maternity
3
Hospital,
months.
she contaminated at least 2 people, and 2 of them are confirmed that they did die. I don't know anything about it. I don't know who it was or what. I'm not impressed either. I'm kind of pissed off at Mary.
I'm
I
not
thought we were
kind
going to
of.
be bros,
I'm
but
fucking
turns out we're
pissed.
not.
I supported Mary, but now I'm like, fuck you, Mary.
Yeah, I'm pretty mad about it. Mary fled. Obviously, she ran.
Okay, this is what's making me know. This bitch knew.
Yeah,
The way that
she
she
ran
keeps
away.
fleeing.
Yeah, if she
Every
runs.
time.
If you run, why you running?
She was running before.
Because she was working as a cook and she knew she wasn't supposed to fucking be.
No, but backtrack. She was running before. And all of those other stories we talked about. She
Yeah, but
ran.
Don't you think she was scared?
It's okay, just chew it. I've been eating
Sorry.
nice.
I forgot I'm on a podcast.
almost just pissed my pants.
You said.
Okay,
I'm sorry, everyone. I thought
maybe in like the
this is gonna
first...
take some getting used to.
Maybe like the second time she thought whatever the fuck. But after the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, you don't think you know what the fuck's going on, bitch.
Exactly.
If you don't know, now
Now
you
you
know.
know.
George Soper easily identified Mary as the culprit. He knew that it was her.
Fucking George.
He was like, "Oh, fucking
All right,
Mary."
let's backtrack.
I
Justice
know
for
it's her.
George.
Fucking Marie.
Justice for George. On March 27th, 1915, Mary was arrested and returned to her bungalow of isolation on North Brother Island. This time,
She deserved it this time.
without
Yeah.
incident. So she she didn't have to be sat on, and she didn't go after George. with a
Because that
gun.
She
bitch
fucking
knew.
knew.
That bitch knew.
She was like, okay, take me. Mary remained there for 23 years until her death on November 11th, 1938. She did die of pneumonia, and she was 69 years
How the
old.
fuck this bitch ain't
Ha
died from
ha
typhoid?
ha ha. 69.
Girl,
Wow.
and I'm the young one. And I'm the immature one.
Shut the fuck up. Nobody asked you nothing. Nobody's talking to you. Did somebody say Kaylee?
I'm sorry.
This story came out, it was written about in the papers there. And after Mary's death, so we're talking 23 years after people have had
Yeah.
time to chill.
Right.
They're like, oh, I was really mad, and now it's been a while, so now let me think about that.
Mm.
Public opinion did start to shift about her imprisonment. People felt she was treated like a lab rat, like an experiment, and they felt that the health department could have done more, and I agree with that, to
Oh, yeah.
help Mary understand what it meant to be an asymptomatic carrier.
Damn.
Right.
They really came up with this in the early 1900s.
Yeah. What do you mean
That's
they
good.
came up with this?
No, I just really thought that when this would be released to the public, people would be like, yeah, fuck Mary.
No,
You know
they
what I mean?
did feel some sort of, I don't know, sympathy
Well, like,
for her.
that's how we
Yeah.
all feel. We're all like, damn, that's
Yeah.
kind of fucked up.
I'm on the fence too, because I see both sides of that.
This is a hard...
Right, but at the
Hard
end of the
story.
day, like, you know,
But it was
land of the
completely-
free, home of the brave,
Yeah,
you know, like...
it's completely out of her control, though.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And think about this time. You don't have access to information the way that we do now.
Right.
People
Yeah.
lived their lives completely different. Probably, they didn't have doctor checkups and,
No.
things that we have steadily through our lives
Exactly.
today.
And also, they identified that Mary is the typhoid culprit. What did they expect Mary to do for the rest of her life?
Yeah, I don't.
Just be in quarantine?
Well, to be a laundry worker for $20 a
Like,
month.
Damn. I would fuck that shit up.
She would be really
Next job.
loaded back then.
Next podcast, we're gonna have a new story.
$20 a month. Yeah, that's fucked up. So this is my question, and I think we've talked about it, but I just want to cover it. Mary, was she responsible on a personal level? Like maybe after, like you said, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th,
Absolutely,
8th.
yes. And the
She knows
reason
she's-
is...
Does she know? She's
Yes.
gotta know.
I mean, I think so. I think there's
Mhm.
some, she needs to take some personal responsibility, but at the same time, I really don't think that she understood the repercussions of her actions, and I don't think that they gently explained anything to her.
Yeah,
or,
gentle parenting going on.
Yeah, no, I don't think that
there.
they really took their time. I think they just fucking took her and threw her in this fucking bungalow and was like, bitch, you're whatever.
There you
Stay
go.
there. You stay
Like,
right
okay,
there,
but-
Mary, with your dog.
What was
Yeah.
your question again? Like, exactly?
Was she responsible on a personal level?
Yes. But was that, like, you can twist that question so many ways, because yes, she was responsible on a personal level, but did she know? We don't know.
Well,
we don't know.
Publicly never stated that she thought she was a
And
character,
also,
but I wonder privately if she thought, after 23 years in the bungalow,
that's exactly what I'm
she
thinking.
sat back, 22 years in and go, I've had some time to reflect on my life and my experiences, and there's been people that have dropped dead around me. I wonder if it was my fault.
Right? Like, even though it was, like, this time.
I'm a grown-up. I've done that with my life.
No, exactly.
Right.
Everyone has.
Yeah.
But, like, the thing that I'm wondering is, we've all seen, like, the stages of grief, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if Mary's not a cold-blooded killer. She wasn't going out trying to murder people. She was just murdering people without, Okay.
I wouldn't call it murder.
No, it wasn't murder. She was killing.
How old was Mary? How old was Mary when this first started happening?
Let's see.
She was like 15 when she came here.
Yeah.
1900 is when the first case happened.
And she's
so
born in
1884, she was 15. So if that's the case, and she was what, like 20 almost, 19, 20?
Yeah. She's young.
Mom, dad, nowhere around. Not at the time. Not for the time. 20 was not young
old.
for the time. No.
She was not educated either.
No.
Let's remember that. She didn't go to school.
No.
And she
much
didn't
past
have guidance.
grade school.
And she seems like she didn't
no
have
guidance,
a family.
No.
Mom wasn't here. They were still in Ireland, I think.
I'm not saying that she, that there's definitely some personal, like, responsibility that she, or, whatever. She needed to take responsibility for some of it.
Exactly.
But on the same foot, I think it really fell on the health department to handle that shit, and they did not do their jobs.
They slammed that bitch in a bungalow.
The reason I was, like, saying
Here's
that
your
is,
fucking
like,
dog.
And
your little dog, too. Oh, sorry.
So, back to the grief thing. She's young in our standards, but obviously not back then. But I'm only 21. If I was, like, around people and they kept dying, like, you're gonna feel grief for those people. You're gonna feel upset for those people. And, like, that first statement she puts out, and she's like, I do not have typhoid. Like, it seems like she's kind of living in this denial.
No.
And that's one of the stages, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Like, maybe throughout the way that she, at the end, she just accepts it. It kind of goes with...
But personally, because she never publicly says.
No.
She never apologizes. She never does any of that. She just dies of pneumonia.
And I wonder how much of that is true. Like,
Pneumonia.
pneumonia.
Pneumonia. Pneumonia.
But, like, I wonder how much of that is true, because what if she was confiding in people about how awful she felt? Or, like, we don't hear that story.
Yeah, and we won't ever know.
We'll
that.
never know.
We won't ever know.
Yeah, and I wonder if there was some prison guard, not
probably.
bungalow guard,
a bungalow guard,
who was like, "Hey,
what's going on? Like, how do you
can
feel?
talk to me?"
Yeah,
and she was like, "I think I killed all these fucking people, man."
Because at the end, it just does. This whole story is like those 5 stages of denial or grief. At the end, she's just like, "It is what it is."
It is what it is. Yeah.
So
exactly.
Well, you live and you learn.
You
you grow up.
Well, hopefully not all of us are just infecting everyone.
Eventually you'll grow up, Kaylee.
And
when you do, you're going to look back at some of the things that you said and did, and you're going to go, God, I was a fucking idiot.
Dude, sometimes I think about
my
teenage years, and I'm like...
Just wait till you get older. It gets
You're
even
not
worse.
even very old yet. You have a lot of mistakes to make.
I know, but
Tons.
damn.
Tons.
I really hope I don't make some of those mistakes again. Jesus Christ.
We don't know how Mary came to be a carrier of the Salmonella typhi bacteria. Some say, and these are the two reports on how she may have contracted it. Some say that she was infected at birth, that her mother had it while
she was probably a carrier. She
Like,
probably never
just
really
never
asymptomatic.
knew. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there were a couple reports that I found saying that she may have caught typhoid in the year 1900, just before becoming a cook. But there's nothing confirmed on that.
So we don't know.
We don't really know. So Mary Mallon was dubbed Typhoid Mary.
Oh.
The worst fucking nickname in the whole world.
That's bullshit.
Man, that's fucked up.
And
I'd write a letter personally.
Forever known as that. And she infected at least 51 people, some accounts saying as many as 3,000, that's indirectly.
Right.
And then
geez.
directly killing as many as 5.
That's a thing.
That's a little serial killer,
If
but
you
not
will.
knowing it. Typhoid's still around today, guys. Now, I've got some terrifying facts for you here.
Wait,
I
pause.
did know that.
Okay, this might sound like a stupid question, but I'm kind of confused. Okay, you eat raw chicken, you get salmonella.
Yes. This is a different strand. This is Salmonella typhi.
So, like, what? Can you still get this from, like, eating raw chicken or chicken not cooked all the way? Like, can you still get that from this?
Typhoid?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
But
I don't know.
quote me on that because it's a terrifying world that we live in and possibilities are endless.
Endless, yeah.
There's death everywhere.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Typhoid's still around today. There's an estimated 20 million cases of typhoid. 20 million
but
cases.
That's worldwide,
yes,
right?
that is worldwide.
That's not even
and
that
of
crazy.
those 20 million cases, 161,000 deaths come from that. That's still alarming. Thinking about our healthcare and the way things are today, we're not so bulletproof, right?
No.
So,
but also we should kind of feel thankful in a way because those numbers then
they
would have been a lot
out of control.
That'd be like insane.
Yeah, it would have been out of control. 350 of those cases, of those 161,000, 350 of them are in the United States.
Wow.
Of those 20 million people, this was interesting. Of 20 million people that become affected worldwide this year, between 1 and 6% are going to become asymptomatic carriers. Mm. And they're capable of contaminating others just like Mary. Just like Mary. So fucking... That's creepy, dude. Typhoid is currently also on the rise in cities like San Francisco with large homeless populations.
There's been videos and stuff about people saying, typhoid's, like mass hysteria.
Right.
It's not that serious right now, but it is a problem.
It can get there.
Yeah.
You just need to, everybody wash your hands. You turn the page, you wash your hands. You turn another page, you wash your hands. Everybody
needs that can't be said for everyone, though, because
you gotta think this is worldwide. So, it's not just about our homelessness, but if you look at our homeless population, you see the things that you saw when Mary was
absolutely
exactly.
That's
so
it.
The takeaway is that we should do more.
Yes.
To help these people, and not just in our own country, but there are, plenty of other countries where our homelessness is not shit compared to what these people are dealing with regularly on the fucking daily. So it's like...
That's what my question was, what's the plan? What...
There isn't one.
Yeah.
Typhoid has been around for a long time.
It's kind of regarded as a disease of yesterday.
So, nowadays, my question is, I guess, are we quarantining these people the same way that we quarantine Mary?
So I do have some information on that, on the preventative side of it. We just need to up our sanitation services to homeless.
Okay, pause. Not trying to, whatever. With the amount of damn car washes we can have on a block, you can't have one fucking sink available.
Seriously. I went to town earlier and there's fucking 4 car washes in the same block radius.
I know. And how with all the water that
they use so much fucking water for one
washes
car.
Their car that much.
I don't.
People get
even
memberships.
Wash my fucking.
They live in the fucking Midwest.
Exactly.
You know what I do for car washing? I
go in the rain.
I go with my son. We go up to Casey's and we get snacks.
Yeah.
And we go through the rainbow car wash for fun. I do not wash my car every month.
When I was
I don't even. Well, when I drove the Impala or even the Journey, absolutely. I drive that fucking Suburban.
No.
I ain't taking that motherfucker.
No.
Ain't happening.
Also, fun fact, car wash. I used to work at a car wash, of course.
You used to work at a car wash.
Yeah. Well, we could go on.
Yeah.
But anyways.
We don't have time for that.
Car washes are really bad for your cars. When we would close the shop down for the night, they would send 3 of us out there to go walk the trail and pick up car parts that came off in the car wash.
Disgusting.
Fun
License
fact,
plates.
My father used to wire car washes.
He did.
Oh, wow.
I forgot about that.
He
did.
worked for a company that wired car washes, and that's what he did all day. And that's why when Grandpa used to make me take the car through the car wash, I was only allowed to do the touchless one because he knew what kind of damage
Exactly.
the other ones caused.
It does.
So a vaccine was developed, and this is going to infuriate you guys. Are you ready?
Fuck.
Do you want to know when?
All the wine is gone. I can't take a
When
sip.
this vaccine was developed?
When?
1895.
What the fuck are all these people getting sick for?
I know. Why are people even dying from this?
What the
but
hell?
by a British pathologist. His name is Almroth Wright, and the governments were slow to roll it out, so many didn't even receive it.
Of course.
Of course.
That's infuriating. Today, typhoid vaccines come in the form of an injection or a pill. The pill is taken in 4 separate single pill doses, 2 days apart for 1 week. And the injection just requires a single dose. Doctors recommend that if you're planning on traveling outside the U.S. where typhoid is prevalent,
something they still vaccinate for, yeah.
Exactly,
you should schedule a typhoid vaccine before doing so. That's it. That's Mary Mallon. And I have some conclusions here,
I was gonna
some
say,
thoughts.
What's the score here?
This story is, so I heard this story years and years ago, and you guys know me, I'm into the dark shit. I like all this kind of spooky, uncomfy things, and this stirs up every uncomfy feeling I have, and it's not just because I have OCD and I'm a fucking freak about cleanliness. It's probably mostly that. But also, here's this lady walking around killing people and not knowing. That's terrifying.
No.
In a time when people are fucking dying they're just dropping like flies around you anyway. How would you know?
It'd be like us living on the street and then like everybody on the street just all of a sudden like disappearing and dying, but then like we're the only ones left, because that's like the equivalent, population wise anyways. So how would you not be like
fucking creeped out
and then
by
you
that.
move, so then you move to a next place
And you run, right?
Right.
You run from
That's
that
what I'm
fucking
saying.
And
Mary
demon that's
had to
following
have
you.
known.
it's dying. Okay, 1, 2. I'll even give you a third time. But by the third time, if you're just
This is what
surrounded
I'm
by
saying.
death constantly, at some point you have to wonder, is it me?
I know,
Is it
right?
me?
You smell your armpits. Is it me?
No.
Do I have DO? Because I forgot the DO.
It's the
It was
thunder
you.
from down under.
Am I
It
killing
was you, Mary.
motherfuckers?
You are.
Oh my god. And then also, I'm glad that I don't live in New York City
Bro,
in
fuck that place.
1900.
I'm glad I don't live there right now.
No.
Fuck that place.
I would not want to live in New York.
Fuck that.
First of all, homelessness, what's the statistics on that shit? Because it ain't gone down that
Out
much.
of control is what
It's
it is.
bad.
Which is bullshit, because like even just one of our fucking millionaires could supply a whole fucking city of homeless people
Hell yeah.
with a year's worth
I'm
of
talking to you, Taylor Swift.
right.
Come
I mean,
on.
I do love her.
We love
though.
you, T.
I love her.
We love you, T,
her.
but come on.
Have you listened
But,
to
like,
the new
if-
album?
No, I haven't.
I've listened
But
to
if
it
like
3 times
one
already.
millionaire took control of like their sector, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
And there will be no homeless in my sector. And if
But
there
how-
is, I will take care of them, because it doesn't, how much does it cost? You're paying millions for a house that you probably don't even live in.
But you've never seen the third
Well,
bathroom.
I'm about to get real
Right.
crazy right now. If you can fly to Epstein Island, you can fucking pay some money for some of these bitches.
Shot color.
Yeah. No, but also, like, you know what?
Oh,
Okay, I'm in
oh,
college
no.
right now, and one of my environmental science classes, like, the reason world hunger pisses me off.
It
Because-
pisses me off as well.
As it should.
Yeah.
There are organizations based in Iowa alone, so there's got to be millions across America.
There are.
But there are organizations here in Iowa that go and people who harvest, like the farmers. Shout out farmers. I mean, come on.
Yes,
Gotta give them
absolutely.
credit. But they are producing their food, they're harvesting. The amount of food left over,
The waste.
the
Yes.
waste, the stuff that's still edible, that's still fine to eat, that's still good, it might have like a little bruise or something like that, so they don't think it's okay to sell. This organization in Iowa, I can't remember the name, but I did a kind of like a little quiz about it. But they go back through and they pick all of that stuff that wasn't harvested, and they take all of that stuff and they go and donate it.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm like,
yeah. No, that's
There are
we need
different
more of
places
that.
like
Yeah.
that. I know that there's a few in New York specifically, and they go, because you have all these high-end, like, fancy fucking restaurants and stuff, and they only buy the top of the top of the top. Well, there's these
Exactly.
people that come into the restaurants, and they take all of their produce that they were just going to throw away, because if it's even slightly damaged,
They can't serve it.
and they can't use it. So then these places come in and they take it and then they distribute it amongst like the homeless community, which is great.
It's
and
great.
we should have more like that, including the fast food restaurants.
like I just saw this post about these people who it started in a coffee shop in New York and it transferred all over America. But these people, they have like this community board in their coffee shops or their whatever restaurants, and you can buy a whole meal
I saw that.
and leave it, and then somebody who's
And
homeless.
see, these
or,
are the reasons, like, that the internet is a great, beautiful
Exactly.
thing. Because things like that can be circulated around, and then other places can do
And-
it when they may not have thought of it before.
Exactly, and it's eye opening, and also not only that, but it can show these people who are struggling that people are still out there trying to help.
Right.
And that's what's important too, because I feel like a lot of these people, they don't feel supported.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's the number one thing. Like, it relates to everything in the world. Mm-hmm. Support is the number one thing.
And Mary Mallon had none.
She had none.
So we are going to conclude our podcast. We had so much fun.
This was so much fun.
We hope you had fun. If you want to send us a message about anything you heard or want to hear, would like to hear, creepy experiences that you've gone through, we would love to hear from you.
Yep.
You go ahead and you creep on our website at thepoisonteaparty.com and find us and follow us on Instagram or Facebook for news and episode updates. We're going to be dropping new bi-weekly episodes every other Thursday, so we hope you'll join us and check those out. And until next time, darlings, you keep it fucking classy and you keep those pinkies up. You've been poisoned.